That's my review of the class. Read it if you wish. This video was inspired by a friend of mine who had to quit the game for reasons I'll talk about. He started in the free weekend and now he's gone. I highly encourage you to review the new class. Open up the DLC page on Steam. If you feel like the class is too weak, it takes too much effort to play, whatever reason, the hairstyles weren't all class like they said they would be, whatever reason you have, leave a negative review. On the same note, if you really love the class and everything about it, leave a positive review. I think it's very important that Fat Shark actually get this feedback because they really only care if the review page either tanks or goes way up. Outside of that, they're not going to take feedback very seriously. But I will promise you this, they will listen to those Steam reviews. That is one of the true things they really do care about. So it is possible to make your voice heard. Now, I would like to talk about how the community has been also, before that, if you do leave a review of the class, make it please at least one paragraph long. It should actually be a substantial review where you actually just honestly tell them your thoughts. A positive or a negative review doesn't tell them anything if it's a joke or a meme or there's no information. Even if it's just, I don't like the feel, that's important because the way you feel about the class oftentimes matters more to them than any dumb stuff like DPS metrics or anything like that. Now, that's what we're going to be spending most of the time talking about. The rancid community reaction to this. So, I'm going to break it down, then I'm going to tell you a story. No, actually, I'm going to tell you a story while I break it down. So, imagine you are a new player. This is from the perspective of my friend, and I'll add my personal commentary as we go. He got the new class and was struggling. Then he saw this. He opened up Reddit to try and get some advice and saw this. And said, basically, okay, sure, that's funny, but, yada yada. Okay, it's not good to be disparaged as soon as you open up the community page, but whatever. He took it like a joke. It's not a big deal. Then he went into the comments, and you can already see this stuff peeking in. You just have bad fundamentals. Bad fundamentals. Oh, you have 100% poor fundamentals. Remember this name. This is important. By the way, I'm sorry to this person. If you're uncomfortable being named in the video, I'll find a way to try and remove it. It's just kind of important for the point I'm about to make. So, this was okay. This was fine. Nothing wrong here so far, but you can already see it creeping. 4 days later, our same friend here, Superb Wealth, went from that pretty reasonable opinion to literally just do the thing and spam. It's impossible to lose unless you just suck at the game. This really disparaged my friend because he got to see in real time a class he was really struggling with, the community's reaction go from relatively helpful, you're probably just not that good at the game, which he thought was fair because he was new, into, God, you're just so fucking bad. Oh my God, you suck so much. And this really bummed him out. So he went to YouTube. And I'm not going to say the channel I'm about to reference for obvious reasons. He saw this person's video and then went into the comments and saw this. He actually was the one to send me this. Now, this comment did a lot of damage to his enjoyment because he quite liked this person's video and then saw that they were hearting every single comment like this, saying, and he felt like, oh, these people think I'm too dumb to play the game. The big content creator thinks I'm stupid. He doesn't, these guys don't think I'm good enough. They don't really want me to be playing with them, etc. And at this point, he was starting to feel pretty bad. And I would like to interject that I know he's not the only one. In fact, I know a lot of people are feeling this way. Please read this. This is a random channel that I found. I just Googled, well, not Googled, but I went on YouTube and just searched, Hive Scum opinions and looked at videos from channels that get less than 1,000 views. And I found this one, Co-op Couple Gaming. It's literally just a couple playing games together themselves. And they were not enjoying the class at all. In fact, they were enjoying the class. Well, I can't show a clip without pausing the background footage video, so I guess I'll show it at the end. All it is the person saying, I feel really weak, which is the general sentiment of this class, which is why I encourage you, if you do feel weak, you can let Fat Shark know by leaving a negative review of it saying, I don't enjoy the class, it feels really weak. Because at the end of the day, dumb assholes like me on YouTube or like playtesters or whatever, we don't matter. What matters is you guys enjoying the class. And if the class is fine balance-wise, if it's even, it could be strong balance-wise. But if it requires so much finesse that you're just not enjoying it, that's a problem that needs to be addressed. So my friend then went and looked for builds. Obviously, he asked me for advice, but because I don't tend to make friends with people that will just take my word for things, he wanted to find other people's opinions as well. So I sent him to Mr. E. He really liked Mr. E, by the way. He really liked his opinions and the way he presented stuff. And I was like, awesome, Mr. E's a good guy. You know, sometimes he doesn't post the best information, but I don't think he's ever going to purposely lead you astray. You'll be fine if you listen to him. It's a very good place to get started. And then literally, like a day after I sent him to Mr. E, he sent me this. And he was like, wait, I thought Mr. E was like, you know, fine. And I had to explain to him that, yeah, there's this group of toxic people that are kind of all connected and they're all sort of play testers. And they hate me and him and pretty much everyone else who doesn't agree with them. And that was a really awkward conversation to have, by the way, with someone who's brand new to the game. And by the way, this is not an isolated thing. I can pull up at least 5 other videos like this from people that are all connected, that are all just relentlessly shitting on Mr. E. And that sucked. That was an annoying conversation to have with someone. So that's okay. You know, that's already pretty awkward. But then if you read the description, this is the most brain-dead way to play the class. If you think this is weak, you're exposing yourself. Plus, you're bad. Plus, blah, 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 blah. And it was mega discouraging to be told this. After being told on Reddit that he is bad and dumb for not being able to figure it out. After being told in a million different comments on another big channel's comment section that he's dumb and bad and sucks and should stop playing. Now, he found a place, because Mr. E's community is pretty accepting. So he found a place where a lot of people were experiencing the same frustrations as he was, and he felt pretty comfortable with that. So he was listening to it. He was improving. He was like, okay, I'm starting to figure this out. Just to then immediately be told by like 7 different other channels that actually you're dog shit. The people you listen to fucking suck. Fuck you. And I'm ignoring the fact that the same people will say these things about me. And he didn't like that either for obvious reasons. But I would also like to talk about this video in particular very quickly, because this video pretty much only exists to show off a scoreboard at the end where the person in question gets more damage than 2 other people put together. Which it's like, okay, and I can out-damage you. So what? Like, I can go load into Auric right now as veteran and probably do more damage than the 3 scums I'll queue with put together. Playing a stronger build and being a stronger player. So a stronger player playing a stronger build than his teammates does more damage than his teammates. Yeah, obviously. Like, what do you expect? Just going like, scoreboard is so fucking toxic, it makes me realize why Fat Shark didn't want one in the game. Which I never thought I would say those words. You know, just going like, scoreboard, you're bad, your argument holds no water, you just suck, everyone who disagrees with me is bad. It's just not cool. And then, of course, on the comments on that very video, the same guy from before that's hearting every comment saying you suck, showing support in the replies to everyone. The same thing here. Just condescending. And by the way, I just want to point out, all of these people posting this stuff about Mr. E, they, by like contract, have to be nice to him. Because they're all either playtesters or part of a content creator program. This is their public commentary on this guy that they are forced to be nice to or else lose privileges. This is these people at their best, which I think is shockingly telling. When you are being forced to be nice, you are still this toxic. That's crazy to me. And the main point of this is that by this point, he was just done. He was like, look, Tanner, the game's sort of fun, but I can't stand the community. The final straw was he went onto the public server and saw how much you guys talked about me. And he said, well, I played one of your builds and it felt a lot better than this class. And all these guys are telling me I suck for struggling with this class and all this nasty stuff about you when yours was the thing that worked. And at that point, he was just done. He said, I can't. I don't want to practice the fundamentals in a casual PvE game. I don't have the time for this. I don't have the time to deal, I don't have the mental energy to navigate all this, like petty content creator stuff. And I just thought that was really sad. The community has been completely split. The clique of like playtester people that want every game to be like an ultra elite sweat fest have basically announced that they can no longer coexist with like regular Joes that just want to play the game. In fact, they publicly post all the time how much they hate playing with random people, which just further harms the community. I've never, in all my years, I've been playing Tide games for, God, since Vermintide 2 launched, even a little bit before that with Vermintide 1. I've been playing Tide games for almost 9 years now. Vermintide was never like this. This is a pretty exclusively Dark Tide thing. And I think it's really sad to know that there are thousands of people going through the same exact experience my friend is going through right now. And it's completely unnecessary. Something I personally realized throughout the last couple of days, trying to help my friend navigate the well of toxicity that is everything related to Dark Tide, the Reddit, the Discord, everything, was that the way you guys are talking right now about this class is what I sound like all the time. I pretty much immediately realized after coming to that revelation, oh my God, I absolutely need to change. Even if I think what I think doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is that you guys got so fucking toxic that you made me, of all people, realize how toxic I sound even when I'm trying not to be. But I do think one of the core differences here is that you guys just genuinely mean this stuff. So I personally can tell you that I am going through speech therapy to try and communicate in a more, like, normal manner. I can realize when I'm messing up and try to change it. I guess the real question is, can you guys do the same? Because I can pull up the comments on Mr. E's recent video, and it's vicious. You guys are saying some really nasty stuff about him, like saying he's a cheater just because, he has a health bar on the screen? But just so he can see his damage, he's a cheater, and he should, like, die and never play? You guys are posting in other people's comment sections or just on Discord, like, oh, yeah, can't trust that. Oh, fuck these guys. Oh, blah, blah, blah. So I think if the community's sourness, or especially the class's shortcomings, have you feeling kind of down, you should review the class. I also think if the class has massively improved your like fun factor, you should positively review it. Now, ultimately, I just don't like the DLC proposition of this class at all. It's $15, or I'm sorry, it's $20 for the deluxe edition, and it's 12, technically 13 after tax, dollars for the normal edition. What does it offer? Does Cartel Special Stim is just the stims that already exist, but it's just that. It's just the stims that already exist, but slightly different. And the guns, the dual Uzis are just the shredder pistols but like there's 2 of them and they have a new model. The what's it called? The stim supply is literally just a first aid kit. It's literally just a retexture with a very slightly edited model, and it doesn't even work right. Half the nodes on the class do not work. The shivs are just the dual daggers from Vermintide. Most of the weapons that came with this class are not unique. They are just remixes and reimaginings of things we already have. The unique class ability is something that already exists in the game normally, and the thing that really killed me is part of the advertising in the trailers was new hairstyles coming with the class. But they never mentioned they were exclusive to the Ganger. You couldn't even let us have the new female hairstyles on the rest of the classes? Why? That was like a big selling point of the class, wasn't it? I remember that being mentioned even in like the dev blogs. That one of the things people were clamoring for were new hairstyles. Yet you made like all of them exclusive to the Ganger, basically. Especially the new one, the beautiful one, the deluxe edition one that everyone loves. Granted, you did mention that one would be exclusive, so all fairness to you, even though that makes no sense at all. All in all, I'm just feeling kind of bummed. I've never seen the Tide community this toxic before, and it doesn't... I really used to enjoy just talking about this game. I love going through the meta, trying to figure stuff out, but lately, it feels like if I post an opinion, even if I make it painfully clear it's an opinion that I'm still working on, it's like I get told to kill myself, called the gay F slur, all sorts of things. Just the things people say on like the community server, it's disgusting, frankly. And if it was just when you guys used to just do this stuff to me, it was whatever. Okay, I can take it. My DMs are open. Anyone can shoot me a message on Discord. Anyone can email me. Anyone can leave a comment. Trust me, I get told, I'm not joking, 100 times a month that I should kill myself. Gay people are inferior. I should never talk about the game again, etc. I get told all of that stuff. A lot of it from playtesters too, by the way, which is crazy to me. And I'm whatever, man. I'm used to it. But now you guys are starting to take that out on just regular people just playing the game. And that's not okay. Also, this class is a miserable experience to level up. I think leveling up Ganger is the worst experience in Darktide. And I think that is another problem that needs to be addressed. So much of this class is so weak on average that until you have everything online, it feels borderline unplayable. Which, again, if this class is as strong as a lot of you toxic elitists like to say, why does every other class in the game... It's funny to me. Every other class is overpowered, according to you guys, because they're so easy and brain dead, you can play them at a lower level just fine. But this class is apparently also really strong, and you're exposing yourself as bad if you feel like it's weak. Meanwhile, it also takes the most skill, and you have this other fundamentals. I don't need fundamentals on veteran. I just rely on gold toughness and the power sword, and apparently I crutch on that and I'm fine, according to you guys. So how can that be the case that this class requires all this extra stuff to even remotely be at the same level, but it's fine? Yeah, maybe it's fine to you because, like, I just could not imagine the mental stack overload of trying to play this class as a new player. You got to think about your stim cooldown. You got to think about how to get your stim back faster. You got to think about your ability cooldown and how it doesn't cool down when you're using it. You got to think about how many stacks of chem dependency you have, which you need a mod. You need a mod to move the chem dependency icon, or else you don't know how many stacks it has. You need a mod to see a timer on the fucking stim, because you don't know, because it's just a small little gray thing that's the same color as the rest of the abilities. So you need a mod to see the timer on the stim, for God's sake. You need to know the stim timer for your stacks. You need the stacks to play the class, because it doesn't have the normal cooldown ability like every other class. You need this, you need the other thing. Oh, you need to play around all this, all at the same time, and you need to constantly be thinking about it. Meanwhile, if you get hit twice, unlike every other class in the game, you just kind of lose half your health for no reason. And all of that, just when you do play it well, it's about as good as the rest of the classes and does the same damage as them at its highest point. All in all, I'm disappointed. And the fact that me, of all people, the most notorious toxic elitist, is thinking you guys are getting too toxic and too elitist over this, you have two options. You can either hear that, laugh, and say, oh, the irony, which would just further cement you as being completely toxic and irredeemable. Or you can say, wow, this guy thinks we're too toxic. Maybe it's time for a little less fighting and just a little more helping of those people that you think are shit. Or just a little more, I don't know, kindness. I don't know what else to say. This toxicity has gotten so out of hand that even a guy like Mr. E, who never really complains about anyone, never really has anything bad to say, he's never involved in anything bad, pretty much everyone other than like a handful of people that have way too much time on their hands likes the guy. Even he is like, this is getting unbearable. Where is all this toxicity coming from? It's out of nowhere. And I've had multiple other content creators personally contact me and say, hey, Tanner, what's going on with this? This is the stuff you said people were doing to you for like a year now. Now they're starting to do it to me. What's going on? And as a final aside, I'd like to just mention that Fat Shark never committed to making classes free. However, they so heavily implied it so frequently right up until the Arbites came out that there was a reasonable standard expectation that classes were going to be free, even though they never sorta fully committed to it. But what did they actually give us in this regards? Really in the last, since Arbiter, we got one new mission, which I guess counts as a new area, 0 new game modes, which is huge. And that's it. We got the class, a new mission that takes place in a new area, even if that area is just the same building copy-pasted 500 times. I digress. So, and the mission is like 10 minutes long. So if you don't buy the class, what all did you get out of the last, like, 7 months of waiting? A 10-minute mission. That's it. You got a 10-minute mission and nothing else. Wow. In in Gabe Newell's own words, after 7 years, well, in this case months, after 7 months in development, I hope it was worth the wait. And I just don't think it is. I think Fat Shark has completely failed to deliver on their promise of free content being paid for by the shop to justify the FOMO shop. And we're starting to get less content than Vermintide. Vermintide got, like, I think it was 4 maps this year. We got, like, 2. I don't think it's fair that we have to pay more for effectively less content than Vermintide was getting. And still is getting to this day. It just feels wrong, you know? But, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was a little bit depressing. I promise the next couple ones will be less so.